Hello, welcome back to The Road to Episode 8, my ongoing series where I chart the road to the release of Star Wars Episode 8 on the 14th of December 2017. We're here to talk about more Rogue One news, more Episode 8 news. We're going to kick things off with Rogue One and the composer, who was originally scheduled to be Alexandre Desplat, Oscar-winning composer, did films like The Grand Budapest Hotel, has worked with Wes Anderson, great composer. In fact, I think he did one of the Harry Potter films, maybe a couple of them. I really like his work and was interested to see where he was going to take this score for Rogue One, the first Star Wars movie that's going to be scored by someone other than John Williams. I think for this film, Rogue One, a Star Wars story that's segregated and split off from the episodic saga, I think it is a good move to not have John Williams come back and make it special, make it count, and hopefully have him involved in the next two episodes, 8 and 9, John Williams. But now Alexandre Desplat has been removed from Rogue One. Apparently, and this is just what has been reported, the reshoots for Rogue One altered the scoring calendar, and so Alexandre Desplat was no longer available. So Disney and Lucasfilm then turned to Michael Giacchino, who has a long relationship with the studio and its various divisions. He's a great composer too. His score for Inside Out last year was phenomenal. I adore that score. Again, I kind of can't even imagine how someone's going to score a Star Wars film if they're not John Williams, but I'm very excited to see it. I'm not too worried about the fact that they changed it this late in the game. I just hope that he can deliver a really good score, and one that fits the film, and one that maybe goes in kind of a way that we're not expecting. You know, again, like I said in the last video, I don't want them to just lean on all the old Star Wars themes and just kind of bring them back and just kind of rinse all that kind of thing. But maybe just a little bit, but mainly bring some new stuff to the table. Episode 8 stuff, not even news, but kind of just comments from Adam Driver. He's been doing some interviews recently, and I found his comments quite interesting. They asked him what was it like working with a new director in Episode 8, and what was the experience like. Adam Driver says, maybe this is just me thinking of myself, but I'm surprised because in their shoes I'd be way more stressed out than JJ and Rian Johnson seem to be making these new Star Wars films. Rian is coming into something that we kind of set up, and he just took it to the next level in a really great way. He wrote it too, and Rian's writing is so clear. I learned a lot of things about my character through his writing of the script for Episode 8. Some things we talked about before, some things we didn't. He was working on the script while we were still working on Episode 7. To understand what JJ was doing and take ownership from there is kind of a remarkable thing. And he's the most polite, unassuming guy, and he was appropriately territorial about some things, but would still be the first to admit when something's not working. A lot of times you need to rise to understand what the script is, and perhaps I'm beginning to be unclear, but he's a great person to work with. They asked him what the script was like. Adam Driver said, it's great. It's similar to how The Empire Strikes Back has a different tone. For that, people always go, ooh, it's dark, but I don't know that it necessarily is. It's just different in tone in a way that I think is great and necessary, but also very clear. He trusts that his audience is ready for nuance and ambiguity. He's not dumbing anything down for someone, and that's really fun to play. I find that really cool. It sounds very promising. When someone says that Episode 8 is going to be like The Empire Strikes Back, I know people's alarm bells start ringing. And I feel like it's going to be really hard to avoid any comparisons with The Empire Strikes Back, considering that we're probably going to be seeing Rey get trained by Luke in the film. So already we have that Yoda-Luke comparison, and I'm sure that the other crew, like I've said before, like Finn and BB-8 and Poe Dameron are going to be off on another adventure, much like Han and Leia and Chewie and 3PO were off on an adventure in Empire Strikes Back. So I think there's going to be comparisons, but it sounds very promising. And to hear that Adam Driver is saying that Rian Johnson isn't dumbing anything down and is trusting the audience for nuance and ambiguity, I think is a really cool thing. Another little interview tidbit here from Felicity Jones, who's playing Jyn Erso, the lead character in Rogue One. We're just kind of jumping around here, you know, I got some notes and stuff, so I'm just going back and forth. Very small bit here, but they're asking Felicity Jones if she based Jyn Erso on anyone or looked for anyone for inspiration, and she says it's interesting. I would be playing Jyn because she's very much influenced by and inspired by Sigourney Weaver's character in Aliens. Felicity Jones just worked with Sigourney Weaver on a film called A Monster Calls, and she said it's interesting that we had worked together and I'd been so inspired by her work, and she was a role model growing up. And she says that the character Jyn Erso isn't like, you know, a carbon copy of Ripley, but definitely just elements of Ripley's character have served as a kind of base inspiration. And I think that's a great thing, because you're looking at one of the most iconic iconic female roles of all time, in my opinion, especially when it comes to science fiction films. So that was cool to hear. We have a cinematographer, we have a DP for the Han Solo movie, which is supposed to be going into production very soon. Bradford Young. It says the immensely talented cinematographer behind movies like A Most Violent Year, Selma, which is a very good film, and Ain't Them Bodies Saints, which is one of my favourite films of 2013. Really underseen kind of indie film. I love the director of that too. I forget his name, but it's cool to hear that because I loved Ain't Them Bodies Saints, and I actually thought the cinematography in that film was fantastic. So apparently the Han Solo film is set to begin production in January of 2017, ahead of a May 25th, 2018 release. So that's going to be interesting. They're sticking to that. So we're going to get episode 8 in December 2017, and then only 5 months later we're going to get another Star Wars film with the Han Solo movie. That's interesting. Anything else while I'm scrolling through, I suppose? Okay, the title of episode 8. Daisy Ridley commented on this recently, and she said that I heard a title, but I don't know if it's going to be that. I really don't know much about anything. I heard the title a long time ago before we started filming, and so I feel some things have slightly tweaked during production. It's going to be a while before it's released, I imagine. And yeah, I don't see them releasing the title of episode 8 anytime soon. I really do think that they're going to keep all the cards close to their chest until next April, when they do Celebration in America, and they've already said it's going to be the episode 8 celebration. So I think we might get a title reveal there, we might get the first teaser trailer there. And, you know, a few people said to me, you know, well, they released the Force Awakens trailer 14 months before it came out. Yeah, but I think that the hype for that was so huge, and moving into the next three or 4 months, we're going to be all about Rogue One. Disney's going to be all about pushing Rogue One and trying to get that to make as much money as possible. There was a news report, actually, that the Disney executives said that we don't think that Rogue One is going to make as much money as The Force Awakens. It's like, hello, Dunk McFly, anybody home? Of course it's not going to make as much money as The Force Awakens. It's still going to make a shit ton though, and they're going to be pushing that to the moon. So I don't see any kind of episode 8 kind of trailers or anything like that until at least 2017, and I think they will wait until April and just kind of kickstart it all off there, and then throughout the rest of 2017 we'll get more episode 8 kind of news. So that is about it. Apparently they're thinking about filming some stuff in Norway, which is kind of cool, and using some of the great Norwegian scenery for a upcoming Star Wars film. Could be episode 8, could be episode 12, I don't know, but apparently the feelers have been put out there, and I think that's a great move. I think they should go around the world and find these amazing locations and integrate them into the Star Wars universe to make those planets, to make those exotic locations feel larger than life, and I'm a big fan of them doing that and going on location and not doing it all digitally. So what else is there? I think, oh, of course, this is well, I don't know, I should probably save this for another video. So I think I'm going to do that because this is something I'm really excited about, and I want to dedicate to its own video. So I think that's all I've got. The backlog, pretty much. There you go. I think what we'll do now, no, I'll save that for the next video as well. So that's it for now. Sorry about that. Sorry for the confusion. But next time we'll be talking about the score of episode 8. And also something else. So I hope you enjoyed this video. Leave your comments down below for anything I talked about in this video. If you're looking forward to Rogue One, you know what you're thinking about episode 8. And I will see you in the next video.